Hey there, Dina Falconi. Welcome to the lab. It's an herb room. It's an herbal experimental zone, and today we are focusing on marshmallow root. Related to the lungs, related to the upper respiratory system. So we have an herb that is amazing for soothing, cooling. It's a yin properties, it's moistening, so it's demulcent. That means it soothes the mucous membranes. Yes, it does that for digestion. It's also an emollient for skin, but today I really want to speak to lung health and upper respiratory issues. By the way, we have made a video for you to see on digging marshmallow roots, so make sure you check that as well. So we're talking about Althaea officinalis of the Malvaceae family here. And how do you make a potent remedy with marshmallow, and what is the gifts of marshmallow specific to upper respiratory? So we want to use marshmallow when dealing with dry, irritated coughs. We want to use it to help bring phlegm up, but often when it's a dry condition. So this is a soothing herb. It can be used with other herbs like elecampane that's cleansing, but this is going to protect the mucous membranes and help to bring up phlegm with a softening quality. So it's a beautiful, softening, moistening, cooling herb that we can use for dry, dry irritated conditions. It doesn't have any antimicrobial action. So if you have infection, you would add something like elecampane or wild bergamot to it. So here you have something though that's going to soothe laryngitis, bronchitis, coughs. You got it. So let's talk about how to make it. And it's an interesting herb because you can do a cold infusion or a hot infusion. The ratio I like to use is a ½ ounce of dried marshmallow root. You can make it with fresh. If you have fresh, beautiful, use a little bit more fresh. Okay, so ½ ounce of dried root. I'm going to add that to a pint-sized mason jar. And by the way, what I'm putting in is a ½ ounce by weight, but it's also about a big palmful or a couple of heaping tablespoons by volume, just so you've gotten that. And then to do a cold infusion, all you do is you get good high quality water and you pour it into the jar, you fill it. So I'm putting 16 ounces of water into this ½ ounce of dried marshmallow root. I'm going to cap it, and I'm actually going to let that sit out for about an hour. And I'm going to refrigerate it after an hour or two, and then I'm going to let it steep in the fridge for about 8 hours. That's how you make a cold marshmallow root infusion. And then just to show you these two jars, this is a cold infusion and this is a hot infusion, and they actually end up creating a pretty similar product. The hot infusion though, once it's steeped out at room temp for a couple of hours, then it goes into the fridge as well. And so maybe the chilling of it brings the mucilage on, but I have to say that both work really well. They give you a similar end product. And if you were going to do it with hot water, let's just go over the steps. It's the same thing. I put in the ½ ounce of marshmallow root into the jar, but in this case, I boil my water so that comes off of I boil it, right? Ooh, it's hot, and then I pour it in and I cap it, and that's now very hot, and let that steep for also. You can begin to drink the infusions after a couple of hours, but I think they're better after 8 hours. And so again, you store these in the refrigerator because they will grow funk. So yeah, so marshmallow infusions, in my opinion, are made both with cold water and with hot water. And again, the long steeping period I feel is quite important. If you have fresh root, that's also useful. You would use probably more like an ounce of the fresh root, but do a similar where you can do a cold infusion. And actually with the fresh roots, I've done cold infusions and they work beautifully well. And I've even reused those roots. So if I've poured off what I've infused, I'll add more cold water. I did it, I think, 3 times, and it still was quite nice. And what's happening in the water is the mucilage from the marshmallow is being released, and that is a gentle, soothing mucopolysaccharide. It's a long chain sugar that coats and soothes and helps to de-inflame and to moisten and to cool down heated conditions. So that is a quick tap into the gifts of marshmallow root, how to make your own potent infusions, how to work with it for the upper respiratory system. May you engage in the power of herbs and healing. However, as I always say, please go slowly, learn about the plants, check in with your healthcare provider to see if an herb is appropriate for you. Generally speaking, marshmallow is super cool for most folks when you're looking for a cooling, soothing, de-inflaming substance. Quick notes, what you drink is the liquid, right? That's, you strain out the plant material, the marshmallow root, and you drink the liquid portion. And you can also make marshmallow combinations, so you can use marshmallow along with mullein, perhaps a pinch of wild bergamot, so you can be blending marshmallow into formulas where you want to add its soothing, cooling qualities. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for being here.